What's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and today we are going to be talking about the Final Fantasy VII Remake that was actually announced last weekend at the PlayStation Experience 2015. But before we get into this, I do want to emphasize that in no way am I considering myself to be some kind of Final Fantasy fanatic. To be honest with you, I've only played probably about an hour or two of the entire franchise, but when it comes down to it, this video is going to be looking at the Final Fantasy VII Remake from an outsider's perspective and just kind of why I think the game is still going to be awesome for those fans that are really into Final Fantasy. So the internet pretty much erupted in happiness last weekend at the sight of a remake of Final Fantasy VII and actually gameplay from that remake that Square Enix is doing. And in today's day and age, whenever we hear the phrase remake or remastering, we normally think about a game like this. This is The Last of Us Remastered, and this is a game that was beautiful when it originally came out on the PS3, but Final Fantasy VII was actually released in January of 1997, and so obviously with age it's gotten to be more and more, it just hasn't translated with time. And so instead of just kind of letting it die off and become a memory, Square Enix has decided to literally rebuild the game from the ground up and completely remake every single aspect of a game that tons of people really enjoyed back in '97. First off, this is a huge form of fan service. Pretty much take the feeling of 343 remastering Halo Combat Evolved and putting it on the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One and the Master Chief Collection and multiply that times 10. For instance, we all know that Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was one of the best Call of Duties of all time, so imagine it's 2027 and Infinity Ward comes out and says, we are remaking Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare for the PlayStation X8 or whatever console happens to be popular at the time. So now let's go ahead and address the sketchy side of it that I'm sure a lot of you are probably considering right now. So it was announced that this is going to be released in an episodic format, and quite frankly, Final Fantasy VII does not lend itself to that kind of release. This is by no means a telltale kind of game where you can just pump out an episode once every week or once every couple of weeks and expect the population of gamers to be happy with that kind of release, though they did give a pretty good explanation. So a couple of guys that are actually working on the remake came out and made some statements to clarify why the game is being released in this episodic format. And they said, from the beginning we thought a Final Fantasy VII remake would be bigger than a single release. If you do get into a single release, there would be things that we'd have to put into a shortened compilation. Since we thought that there would be stuff we would probably have to pare down and supplemental things we probably couldn't add, we decided to divide it up, concluding that we have to do a remake that's fully packed with content. And when you put it like that, the episodic thing doesn't really seem that bad. Obviously, depending on the pricing and the kind of plan that you're going to be able to purchase to get these different episodes is going to determine whether this kind of move was done just to make more profit in the long run for Square Enix. However, the way that this quote makes it sound, it makes me think that this is genuinely to make sure the gamers have a good experience, because if the guys doing these quotes are actually being genuine and honest with the crowd, if they just put it all out in one big, Final Fantasy VII Remake disc, it would be lacking in certain areas. So the way I see it, if they release one episode, someone that's extremely passionate about Final Fantasy VII and really wants to explore every aspect of the remake can go in, delve into that one episode, and explore every little square inch of that episode, and then continue on to the next one, do that again, continue on to the next one, and however many there are, they can continue and repeat that until they have taken in every single aspect of this giant Final Fantasy VII remade world. Although I'm not a huge Final Fantasy fan, and I'm probably honestly not even going to play the remake, it's so awesome to see that Square Enix is coming back to a game that came out in 1997 and completely rebuilding it just because the fan base that they still have today would love to have that kind of experience. That is the ultimate form of a game developer and a game company catering to what the population of gamers actually wants, and to that, I applaud you, Square Enix. Don't screw it up with this episode crap. So there you guys have it. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a like down below, and be sure to share this video so that more people can find the channel. And if you haven't seen it, I did release a new channel trailer last night, so you can go over there and check that out. I will link it down below. But as always, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.